Science, day 10. We'll see some points regarding some ocular side effects of mostly systemic medications in ophthalmology. The question was on chloroquine, okay, which is a very important drug, chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine. A patient has been taking for the last 10 years, and the doctor examined the patient was having some depositions in the cornea and in the retina, fundus. There were some central lesions. Central means macula. Which of the following is true? That was the question. So let us see some points regarding some systemic drugs in which chloroquine will also be there. Then I will come back to this question. Okay, so one particular group of drugs can cause this deposition in the cornea like a whorled pattern and mostly in the epithelium layer of cornea. That is known as whorled pattern vortex keratopathy, in which you have to remember, I'll tell you what the important point you have to remember is, amiodarone is a very important drug which can cause this. And on stopping the drug, mostly the deposition goes away. It is slowly reversible with amiodarone. NSAIDs and chloroquine. So chloroquine was there in the question as well. Chloroquine and NSAIDs will also cause some epithelium deposits. So these are three important causes of vortex keratopathy. The pattern is whorled pattern, like you see in the both pictures. Is whitish depositions in the cornea. Okay. Other example of cornea depositions. One is chlorpromazine. The important point, chlorpromazine, that is a phenothiazine. It is getting drug is getting deposited in the endothelium of the cornea, while silver agarose causes deposition in the Descemet's membrane of the cornea. Gold can cause depositions anywhere in epithelium or stroma. That is not important. The word you can remember is this: depositions with gold. And amantadine can also cause some epithelium edema. Okay, the point you can remember is epithelium edema. There are some punctate deposits in the epithelium. It can cause epithelium edema as well by amantadine. So these are some drugs which can cause corneal depositions. And the important point in chloroquine is, yes, vortex keratopathy mostly they are reversible on cessation of the drugs. Uveitis. So let's go from anterior to posterior. Uveitis. Uveitis. Three drugs remember for causing uveitis. Rifabutin, cidofovir and bisphosphonates can cause inflammatory reaction inside the eye. Glaucoma, one important drug, topiramate, induces angle closure in the patient. So this is very important drug. It induces angle closure, and steroids of course can cause glaucoma. Steroids, both systemic and topical, can cause glaucoma. Topical causes more of glaucoma, systemic causes more of cataract. And in cataract, I always say in my class, please remember the drugs causing cataract. You can remember by any of your ways. You can remember by A, B, C, D, E. Where A is AU. AU means gold. Amiodarone. Busulfan. C. Chloroquine. C. Chlorpromazine. D. Again dexamethasone. And in dexamethasone, which is steroid of course, systemic causes more than topical. And E is ecothiopate, which is a miotic. So one more miotic, which is pilocarpine, can also cause cataract. So these are some important causes of drugs causing cataract. Please remember, amiodarone can cause one of the days of this lockdown, I told you what drugs causing cataract. I told you amiodarone causes anterior subcapsular, A for anterior subcapsular. Gold causes anterior subcapsular. Busulfan causes posterior subcapsular. Chloroquine causes posterior subcapsular. While chlorpromazine, I told you to remember at that point, causes anterior subcapsular cataracts. While myotics are also responsible for causing anterior subcapsular cataract, while steroids, very very important, steroid causes posterior subcapsular cataract. Remember I told you PSC is seen in BSC. I told you in one of the videos previously in cataracts. Okay, let us go back to retina. And important drug, which is the question of today, chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, can cause some retinal changes. Important point I'll just highlight, it's a melanotropic, means it attaches to the melanin. Melanin is seen in the eye, in retina, in which layer of the retina? The outer layer. The retinal pigment epithelium has melanin. It can also be seen in depositions in uveal tract. So it is a melanotropic. and it is irreversible. Okay, keratopathy is reversible by chloroquine, and retinopathy is irreversible. It is related to cumulative dose. Okay, it is dose dependent, and it is seen by chloroquine total dose 300 grams, while hydroxychloroquine is little safer. 1000 grams will cause retinopathy. Okay, so 1000 grams hydroxychloroquine, for example, the daily dosage is 200 milligrams given twice a day. If it is given for 7 years daily on a continuous basis, then only it can cause some retinal changes. And mostly it is seen in patients who have kidney or liver disease. It passes through various stages. You don't need to know that. What do you want to know? It causes some depositions like this. In the central part of the retina, so this is the right retina, the central part, there is some depositions, and this deposition is looking like a bullseye maculopathy. It's one of the differentials of bullseye, in which, why? Because mostly the melanin, in one of the videos, mostly the melanin is present in the center part, the fovea and the fovula. So the center part has hyperpigmentation because of melanin deposition. Then the white portion is RP atrophy, and another a dark portion. So it is like a bullseye maculopathy condition. Okay. So at baseline, of course, you have to screen the patient. And what do you want to screen? You have to see the fundus, you have to see the retina of the patient, and you can see some investigations. You can see some, like you right hand side picture, this is fluorescein angiography or autofluorescence you can do, or you can do some visual field changes. Central scotomas can be there, central cecal scotomas can be there in patients, or you can do OCT at baseline. But mostly it is a cumulative. So if the patient is having not of much systemic problem, you can check the patient after 5 years. Generally it takes 5 years to have changes in the retina. So after 5 years you can check him annually them. And these are some investigations you can do. You can check the retina, fluorescein angiography, visual field, and OCT can be done. So this is some important points regarding chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine. Okay, some examples, drugs which can cause some crystal depositions in the macula. Just you can remember by any of your ways. Tamoxifen is one important drug. NMC, National Medical College, or whatever, National Medical Will, whatever you can remember. Nitrofurantoin, methoxyfluorine, and canthaxamine can cause crystal depositions in the macula. And the last for today, I'll just tell you, salt and pepper retinopathy. You can remember by any of your ways. You can remember by crop. Some drugs will come, of course. Cystine depositions can cause this pigmentations, like you see in retinitis pigmentosa, like salt, black is pepper, white is salt and pepper retinopathy. Drugs important, cystinosis. Phenothiazine is very important. Thyroidazine and chlorpromazine, both are phenothiazine. They can cause salt pepper retinopathy. Chlorpromazine, please remember I've told you chlorpromazine today. It can cause deposition in the cornea, yes, right? It can in the endothelium, then it can cause cataract, antisubcapsular cataract, and it can cause salt pepper retinopathy as well. So please remember this chlorpromazine. Most common cause of salt pepper retinopathy is, of course, written with a different color, congenital syphilis. Alright, so that's for today. Tomorrow also we'll continue with some more after retina. The last, you have to remember some point regarding optic nerves or drugs causing optic neuritis. I'll ask you a question tomorrow.